What up? It's your boy Incredible Medic. Yes, I'm back at it again, and this is Black Clover episode 110 discussion slash review. And dude, I constantly keep saying that that episode was good and this episode was good because it's so true, man. Each episode is getting better and better, and the thing is because this whole arc is such a good arc, and it's so wonderful to see it animated, and it's so lovely to see everything transpire in color and everything, because reading it in the manga, it gives you the feels. Let's be real, and it's fantastic. But seeing it animated gives you another set of feelings and just makes you relive all of that glory once again, because this arc is absolutely fantastic. And oh boy, where we're at now in the manga is even more incredible. So I can't wait to see that animated. That's what I'm saying. Black Clover is like it was smooth at first, but like now, until it keeps going. It's like going up a mountain. It's just getting better and better. It's so good. But let's dive right into this episode, man. This episode was yet again another banger. We jumped in right after last week's episode, and we're dealing with all of the elves heading towards the palace, and them trying to get the last magic stone and set everything in order for them to take over the bodies fully. And once they take over the bodies fully of all of the members of the Clover Kingdom and the knights and everything, and the Magic Knight captains and other members as well, their souls will be lost forever into the other world. And that's what this episode was. It was setting up that whole moment because, oh man, dude, I remember reading it in the manga, and it was so good because there was a lot going on, but they handled it so well, and I loved the way that they done it. So we dive right into everything, and we see why the elves decided to take over everything, and what their end goal was, and that is to take over everybody's body and leave their souls in, like, the other world. But this episode, we also got to see Veto and Fana back, which you guys remember, they were the ones that were defeated by the Black Bulls, and we got to see them back. They kind of got reincarnated again. And yeah, that's that whole thing with that. Now we're gonna get to the meat of the episode, which is seeing the Black Bulls come up. Okay, at that moment we saw that Yami and Jack and Noel and Zora, they were heading, when they weren't heading, but they were looking as the higher ups, the seraphs or whatever from the elves. They opened this portal to the other world, and with the Black Castle and everything, and that's what was going on this episode. And Jack and Yami and Noel, they were all looking on. It was like, well, we got to stop, and we can't just let this happen, because now they know that the elves' end game is them taking over the bodies fully and completely. And in that moment, in the nick of time, they were like, okay, we got to stop them. So then some of the elves came down to stop Yami before they could, and everyone before they could intervene. But at that moment, the Black Bulls showed up. Yes, man, the Black Bulls and the Bulls base, and the look on Yami's face was absolutely perfection. To see him smile and telling Jack about his squad, it was like, yeah, you guys see it. And then when he was smiling, and he was so content to see Henry actively participating with everyone else, and he was like, so you came, Henry. And it was so good, man, because we never saw Henry before now, dude. And it was so well. Anime only watchers hasn't, but dude, it was so good to see Yami feel so happy about his squad, and Zora and Noel don't know what's going on because like they've never been introduced to Henry, so they don't know where this big bouldering castle comes from. And it was so wonderful to see the whole thing transpire, man, and I loved it. And then we have two of the coolest things that take place. We have the elves trying to attack the Black Bulls base, right? Because they just appeared out of nowhere, and they were like, well, you can't stop us, we're the elves. And we have Lux mana detection just kick in and just detect everything, and then everybody just started releasing the moves. And I don't know if anybody else saw it, but we had Sally at one of the cannons releasing the move into the cannon, so which was nice. Then we have Vanessa's what is it called? Anyway, like where she intervenes and their attacks miss and everything. So it was so cool to see all of the Black Bulls working together, joined and combined. And you guys know I love the Black Bulls. And then we see the elves getting mollywopped and getting beaten. And at that time, we have Mimosa and her brother and the mushroom guy coming over to tell Asta that, well, you guys, we gotta stop them because they're trying to take over everyone that's become elves. They're trying to, their end game is to take over their bodies fully and send their souls to the other world. And they were getting ready to stop it and combat them and everything because they were winning at that point. But then that's when Lick showed up with Raya and the captain of the Coral Peacocks, which is Dorothy, and she unleashed her magic. And I'm super excited to see next week's episode because in the manga, we could tell that it looked very cool in the manga, but it was in black and white. So seeing her powers have like a rainbow color when they're activated, I want to see how they're gonna make the dream world look as when it's animated. That's gonna be so cool to find out. But yeah, so she used her powers and she took out the whole top half of the Black Bull's base, and the only people that were left were Gray, Gordon, Asta, and Henry. So she took Vanessa, Luck, Magma, Charmy, and Sally to the dream world. And dude, now, and that's why when we come back, when anime, like next week, there's going to be a bunch of different stuff going on because we're going to have all of these other fights going on. I know they're not going to show it like that. They're going to focus on one thing. They're going to resolve that. Then we'll jump back to something else. I know that's how they're going to do it in the anime. I just know it. But it's so cool because now there's so much going on. And that's the Black Clover is getting better and better. You guys can see the smile on my face. I'm smiling this whole review, man. But so then after that, we have Gosha's character, which is taken over by Droid, I want to say. That's who he's taken over by. And he is working with Marie. Oh, I can't remember her elf name. But anyway, he's working with Marie, and they're fighting the Black Bulls. And she unleashed this magic to where she can stop anyone if they look inside her eyes. And she stopped them and everything. And then next thing you know, Asta just sucks all of the magic into the sword. And then we have everyone was like, they were complaining about Ghost. Like, well, he's always talking about his sister and making figures of her and having nosebleeds and everything. But then at the end, we see where they say, well, we're going to take him back so we can complain and talk about all this stuff to his face and tell it to him. And I just love the companionship and the camaraderie of the Black Bulls. And it shines every episode when there's some Black Bull members on the screen. We even have Noelle was like, well, be thankful that I was here this episode. You know, and they were like, and Magma was like, well, be thankful we were here, Lady Noah. So I love how they all just click, man. I mean, I know it did just happen overnight, but like through all the trials that they've been through, they click together as a cohesive unit, and it's absolutely wonderful to see that on screen every time we turn around with the Black Bulls. And that's why they gotta be everybody's favorite. I mean, I know everybody has like a particular character that's their favorite, but as a whole, it has to be Black Clover, man. I mean the Black Bulls. It has to be the Black Bulls because they're just so fantastic, man. That's all that happened this episode. It wasn't too much. It was just setting up everything. We got a little action, but this episode was mainly setting up everything that's going to take place next week and the week after, because that's when it's really going to get heavy, because now we know their end game and we know what they want. And now that it's a race to the clock to stop them before that happens. But I'm super excited, man. This is your boy, Dick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button till you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe. But only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.